We're glad that you are here. I'll check out my notes because I'm not normally a note person champion, but we got a lot of great stuff to talk to you about tonight. So I will definitely be going off of my notes so we don't miss anything. All right. All right, we are started. Okay, let's start this bad boy. Let's kick it off. It is that time.
All right, am I starting?
I got a script in front of me. It says you are.
All right, you guys, welcome so much to our webinar. We are Coach Michelle and Coach Rael, also known as the Carnivore Power Duo. And we do these webinars about 1 to 2 times a month to help you guys on your carnivore journey, to teach you something that maybe you already know, maybe you're not aware of. And we have a different theme every time. And tonight we're going to talk about why carnivore is not working for you, because the keto creep problem is something that nobody is teaching. So if carnivore isn't working, it's not because you're not doing it correctly. It's because you've been learning from the wrong places. Okay, so we want to normalize the confusion. And what's happening is most people are mixing up the frameworks without even realizing it. So by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what signals are being sent to your body and how to correct it.
Your body doesn't negotiate, it responds to hormones, not hashtags. And tonight is about physiology, not food tribes. So tonight, champions, what we're going to talk about is carnivore it's a metabolic reset. And why it works is number one, it works because of insulin, stability, and sorry, it works because of insulin stability. It's reduced inflammation, predictable signaling, and carnivore is not equal to keto at all. I'm a big advocate of this, champions. I am all carnivore at this point in my journey, and carnivore is not equal to animal based at all. So if you're doing animal based or you're doing keto and you're struggling, you're not getting the results, tonight you're going to find out why and why we're so passionate about going all in and doing carnivore the right way.
So what we're going to do right now, you guys, is just talk really quickly about the lanes. And what carnivore does is it removes the decisions so your body can heal. And the more you add back in, the noisier the signaling comes. So if you've ever been on our lives, you'll hear us talk about that there are 3 lanes within the ketogenic lifestyle. There's keto, there's animal based, and there's carnivore. We're going to specifically talk about what carnivore is and what it is not, because that's where a lot of you guys are getting into trouble. And we're going to talk about what happens when you dip into those other lanes and how it especially messes with your insulin, your signaling. So carnivore breaks down into 2 categories. Number one, you have lines, which is the OG, the strict. That is the ruminant meats of an animal. Okay, that is an animal with 4-chambered stomachs, like a cow, a lamb, a goat, bison. Okay, water and salt, very specific. That's all that is. We recommend people that have a lot of inflammation, on a lot of medication, have a lot of history and need healing, to start off with that. IBS, autoimmune. Carnivore is any fatty cut of meat and or fatty cut of seafood, the redder the better. Okay, water, salt, grass-fed butter, and eggs. Now, anything past that, you guys, carnivore is the meats and the fats from an animal, not the secretion of. And that's what we're going to spend some time talking about tonight. And the noise is exactly what is breaking your results. So we're going to teach you to understand what those noises look like. Sometimes they're not loud. Sometimes they're very insignificant, and you may realize that it's talking to you, but you haven't connected it yet. We're going to help you make that connection. Okay. So there are 5 failure points that we see all the time. Number one, hands down, under eating. Okay. Most of you guys are coming from what we call the SAD diet, the standard American diet. Okay. You've been taught 3 meals, 2 snacks, low fat this, clean carbs, fruits and vegetables, all the things that we actually do not do on carnivore. Okay. So really what happens is a lot of you guys are super afraid because you've been taught restrictive calories, deficits. The more calories you eat, the fatter you're going to get. It is completely backwards on carnivore. We don't count calories. We don't worry about calories. And simply because carnivore is fat driven, protein driven. There are 9 calories to 1 gram of fat. There are 4 calories to 1 gram of protein right there. You are definitely going to be eating way more than you ever have caloric wise. But this is why calories don't factor in, they don't hold any merit. And getting your brain to switch off from that is where a lot of you guys have problems. Number two, moving into what we just said, too little fat. We have been taught our whole lives and told that fat is bad for us. On carnivore, to do carnivore properly, it has to be fat driven because your fat is now your energy. Okay. So it's a huge problem that we see because we've all been programmed to think that fat is bad. Okay. So we're going to try to help you to unprogram that and understand that. Listen, we say it all the time on our lives. You cannot have too much butter. And the way that you know, you're
Butter, butter,
peeing out
butter.
your butt, right?
I love my
So,
butter.
yeah, my husband loves his butter. Okay. So, protein without fat stresses the chemistry in your body. Low fat, anything, actually jacks your cortisol. Okay. And cortisol is this fat storing around your belly. And this is actually why most women stall. Okay. Because especially as women, we have been taught low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat. I remember when I first started carnivore and our coach was like, you want full fat. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I literally couldn't put my head around that.
Yeah, and so Tam, just real quick. So if you have a question, put it in the Q&A because I'm believing we have not figured out why the chat does not work. It probably says chat on not working for you. So if you got a question, put it in the Q&A and we'll get to them at the end. Okay. So fat is a hormone support. It's not just calories. Okay. So number two, we're talking about protein mismatch. If we have too low protein, we're going to have muscle loss. It's going to be unstable, right? Your appetite's going to be unstable, right? You're going to have cravings. One of the things, like as I've upped my workouts now in this new challenge we're doing, I realized that I'm having some food noise coming back and some cravings coming back, which I thought was weird. And I realized it because my body needed new protein. So we had to redo redo our ratios. Thank you. So if it's too high, you can have a maybe you gave me a 3-syllable word. Glucogenesis. You can have, I don't do 3-syllable words, but I got that one. Glucogenesis, which is insulin signaling, okay, which can be very bad as well. And my wife's going to dig deeper on that and explain that.
Okay. I know I shouldn't have given you the three
Oh, it's good.
syllable
I
word,
think I did
baby,
good
but
though,
that
right?
was good. You did really good.
Glucogenesis. Yeah, okay, good.
Um, so protein, you guys, this is super important. And I always tread on this very lightly because I would have to say across the board, statistically, everything that I've read, the average woman coming to carnivore, living in the standard American diet world, only gets about 40 grams of protein a day. The average male gets 60 grams of protein a day. If you put a male and a female, those two together, you're still getting too little. I hate to say this because I don't want to throw numbers out to you. That is something that coach and I do for people to understand what their ratios are. But I can tell you this unequivocally, we have never in the whole history of our coaching ever given somebody 100 grams of protein. That's actually too low. So if you're looking at what you're doing right now and you're like, I'm nowhere near 100 grams of protein, that's a big problem. Okay. So, but on the other flip side, we see a lot of people leading with the protein and having too little fat. That is going to not, that's going to screw up your hormones, right?
Yep.
So always remember whatever your protein is, okay? So let's just say your protein, now, not one of you guys should be this, but if your protein is 100 grams, then your fat's got to be somewhere up around 200. What does that look like? Very simply, you guys, when you get started on carnivore, everything you pick is fatty.
Yeah.
Every
The more fat we eat, the more fat we'll lose.
Yeah. Are you muted or no? I want to make sure they can hear you.
I hope they can hear me.
Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure. Yeah, the more fat, listen, people get stuck with this as well too. They're like, well, I have a lot of body fat to lose, so shouldn't I not take in the fat? No, bringing in the fat is what actually starts the burning process, the fueling, the energy for then your body to go in. It's going to take that fat for energy, but you're going to need that so then it goes in and goes into your fat reserves. Okay. Underhydrating.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a huge one. You have to understand this, you guys. When you get started on carnivore, this happens for everybody. That first week, when you see weight loss and you get excited because it's like 5, 6, 7 pounds, maybe more, I hate to bust your bubble, but that's actually not all. It's only a small percentage of weight that you're actually losing. What you're losing is inflammation and water. Because what happens is the kidneys actually drain out all the water that's in there from the carbs and the sugar. It is so important. In our 90-day awakening, we're on like day 4, and people are already talking about headaches and feeling dizzy. That's a hydration issue. You have to put back in almost more than what you're losing. So it is super important that you guys all know we make our own electrolytes using our source trace minerals. Whatever you decide to use, you have to make sure that you're using a quality salt, a quality electrolyte that has 8 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium in it, and not just one a day, right? 2, 3 a day. It is super important when you get started on carnivore that your sodium intake is somewhere between 3 and 5,000 milligrams, because you want to make sure you are replacing and then adding so if you're having heart palpitations, you're lightheaded, you've got a headache, that is all hydration and you need to up that.
Yeah, and like fat loss requires minerals, okay, champions. Number 4 is overfast, okay? Something I get a little crazy about. Fasting is not a thing in carnivore. We naturally fast when we eat 3 meals in an 8 to 10 hour window. You're naturally going to go into intermittent fasting naturally. Okay, these long extended fasts you hear about, 72 hours, 10 months, a year. What, like, we've heard some crazy stuff. I'm just exaggerating a little bit, but maybe not. We've heard some crazy stuff.
I've seen some people do 14-day fasts, which I can't even wrap my head around.
And to reset, I'm fasting. These things you're hearing about, it's not a thing in carnivore. Okay, you really fast for 2 reasons. You fast for religious reasons or healing. It's a very great tool for healing. We do use it. In terms of fasting, when we're fasting on a broken metabolism, it's the adaptive slows down.
The adaptation process slows down.
The adaptation process slows down. Our thyroid suppression happens. All kind of, you don't get into autophagy. You don't get fat adapted. None of that stuff happens. Okay, it will naturally. Like, we've been doing carnivore over 560 days now.
566.
560 days, and we naturally fast every day because we do eat in that 8 to 10 hour window. And you know what? I remember doing intermittent fasting when we did keto at one point in our career. And it was brutal. It was every day thinking, can I eat yet? Can I eat yet? Can I eat yet? And never thought about it. It's never been an issue. It's never been a problem. And I feel amazing about it. So this whole fasting thing, that's a big thing that we see.
Well, and I just want to add on to what you said about autophagy. There's so much misinformation out there that people feel like the only way to get to autophagy, and that's literally shredding the yucky cells and building new cells. That automatically happens when you're in a 8 to 10 eat, 14 to 16 fast. Okay. Mm-hmm. That naturally happens. You do not need to do, people are like, well, the longer I fast, the deeper I get into autophagy. I mean, yes, but you get into the necessary level you need just by doing the intermittent fasting the way that we're naturally eating on carnivore. And especially as women, when you do, listen, there are 2 things that happen when you overfast. Number 1, your body's going to go for the muscle because it's looking for fuel. Okay. Number 2, especially if you're a female, it happens to men, but especially as females, if you've already walked in with a broken metabolism, which is 99.9% of you when you come to carnivore, you're going to break it even more. You're going to halt your hormones. You're going to mess your cortisol. It may seem like it's working for you in the beginning, but this is what happens,
Because you're starving yourself.
Right. And then we get people that come to us, 2, 3 months into carnivore, and they're like, my hair's falling out. I've hit a massive stall. yeah, well, your body finally caught up to what you were doing.
Yeah, and also like, guys, I don't know about you, but fasting ain't fun. And isn't it cool that we don't have to put ourselves through that, like torture? I mean, that's just another big win. So just it's not a thing,
So
guys.
here's the big one: too much dairy.
Mhm.
Now, if you are brand new to us and you haven't been on any of our coachings or any of our lives, you're not in our academy, dairy is a secretion. If you heard me say in the beginning, carnivore is the meat and the fat from animals, not the secretion. Now, with that being said, dairy is not carnivore. It will put you in animal based or keto. Okay. Now, you hear us say a lot of times, oh, well, you say we can't do this, we can't do that, da 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 da. Okay. You can do whatever you want. Let me explain to you what happens with
Mhm.
dairy. Okay. Dairy is not foundational. It is not necessary. It was designed to be an accessory. The problem is that people are not looking at it as an accessory. And when we say as an accessory, we do not coach anyone with any sort of dairy until they're in maintenance. If they want to, bleed over or try animal based or adding in some of that in limited amounts and it's raw and it's clean, have at it. Do whatever makes you happy. But if you are not getting results, okay, dairy and different levels of dairy. We see a lot of recipes. I'll give a perfect example: cream cheese and cottage cheese.
Eh.
Super, super high in lactose. Lactose equals sugar.
Mhm.
Here's why there's a problem. Forget the inflammation part of dairy, forget the hormonal disruption about dairy. It spikes your insulin. And when your insulin gets too high, your fat burning in your body completely shuts down. And when that shuts down, you can't out train it, you can't out eat it, right? So that is why we are so passionate about having you understand what dairy does. And this is, we're going to talk about actually, oh, I guess this is me. Oh, no,
No.
you're next. Go.
Yeah, so and I'll say too, once again, guys, it's at the end of the day, I'm very black and white. My wife, we are a great team together. She's gonna go deeper, and that's what we love to do on these webinars. But at the end of the day, at no way, shape, or form is dairy carnivore. It's not. And when you do dairy, it does take you into animal based and it does take you into keto. Like we said, we're not telling you what to do, champions. We're not the carnivore police. We're not a dictatorship. We love you no matter what you do. We're just here to help you to know what carnivore is the right way because we've seen the amazing difference in how it works. Dairy will stall you, it will affect your results. I can tell you on our personal because we lead by example. After 500 days or wherever it was, because of my wife's
Oh,
surgery.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, we brought back, she really didn't have a choice. So we said, okay, we were going to bring in some raw milk. We are going to bring in the yogurt. We're going to bring in,
All
some of the
raw
stuff,
and whole
all
fat.
raw, the good quality dairies that you're allowed on animal based. And we were very transparent about it. Some of this and I'll be honest with you, like, you know what? Actually, all of the dairy in terms of how I felt worked was great. I didn't have any adverse reactions to it, if I remember correctly. But the way my body reacted, immediately I got soft. Immediately, the pooch in my stomach started coming back. I mean, and I'm like, nah, I don't want none of that.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
didn't even make it a week because I tried organic kefir, raw kefir. It literally went through me. Like it went down fine. 20 minutes later, I am literally peeing out my butt. Same. I felt the inflammation. I started
Yep.
feeling the pain
That's
in
what I
my
was trying to say.
my
Inflammation.
knee
Yep.
come back, and I was like, done.
Yep.
Okay, now here's where we want to sit for a while. Okay, I call this the blurred line problem. People are trying to bring their agenda to carnivore instead of carnivore to their agenda. What do I mean by that? We are seeing things like honey, stevia, monk fruit, zero carb sweeteners. The newest one,
Oh
I
my
can't
gosh.
even, I saw a video today and I literally had to comment on it. She was
I'm
using
just getting some
powdered,
water.
yeah, she was using powdered milk and cacao.
Okay.
Okay.
There you
Then
go.
there's the flavored electrolytes and all these carnivore desserts. Okay.
Wow, wow, wow.
Number one, here's what I need you to understand. Yes, it is in the ketogenic window. Okay. Is it considered low carb? Absolutely. Here's what I need you to understand. Your body does not know the difference between monk fruit, powdered milk, by the way, you guys,
Sure.
has so many carbs in it. 1 teaspoon of powdered milk is 7 carbs. Now, most recipes that I'm seeing, people are doing 1 to 3 tablespoons. There's 17 carbs in a tablespoon of powdered milk. These are the things that you need to be aware of. All the fruits, the sugars, all of them are literally spiking your insulin. And what did I tell you 5 minutes ago? What happens when insulin gets spiked? Now, some of you, it's a very minimal spike. You're probably okay. But when you are doing all these added things throughout the day, you are literally shutting off your fat burning. And you're wondering why you still have all this fat that you need to burn through.
Me, baby?
Yeah, right after the
Oh,
carnivore
I'm sorry.
desserts.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, when we talk about, the sweet taste, right? My wife's giving me these
I'm
words.
sorry. Just say it
Seafood,
gives an insulin response.
yeah, it gives
Oh.
an insulin response. Your insulin rises before calories. Your fat burning shuts off. I mean, you can literally block your fat loss, fat burning, whatever you want to call it, by adding dairy. And I don't know about you, but I think most of us, one of the reasons we're here is because we want to get rid of that fat, right? So dairy is no bueno, okay?
Well, and more importantly, honey, you also block the fat loss without eating a single carb because you can do stevia. Now, honey may not have, I mean, maybe 1 carb. The problem with honey is it literally 1 teaspoon of honey can raise your insulin 60 mg/dl. So if you're somebody who's diabetic, okay, I actually have a client right now, or coach and I have a client right now. This is one that we do together. She is diabetic, and she's a 1.5 diabetic. So if you don't know what that is, so if you're if you have diabetes 2, right? That's what most people have. You can fix that through food. Diabetes 1 is insulin. 1.5 is a combination of the two, and it's actually more intense to fix than one or the other. So she tests all the time. And she was drinking the zero carb, zero sugar, what was it called? Oh, the ices,
Mhm.
So by all intents and purposes, it falls under keto. But when she drank one, it raised her sugars to 220. Okay,
Wow.
so these are the things that we're trying to make you aware of, because if you're looking at it going, well, it doesn't have any carbs in it, but it's a sugar, whether it's supposed to be a healthy sugar or not, your body cannot assimilate the difference.
Mhm.
And not that this is carnivore, but I want you to understand something. Prior to coming to carnivore, I don't know how many of you used to eat apples and peanut butter. That was my go-to. That was my favorite thing to eat. And I'll be honest with you, I used to eat it right before bed. It was like
Yeah.
a nighttime snack for
Both of
me.
us did.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Bananas.
Oh
Do you
man.
know that the insulin response of apples and peanut butter and a Snickers are exactly the same? Because all your body does is register the sugar and spike your insulin. Doesn't care what it looks like on the outside. The packaging doesn't matter. And these are the things that we want to get across to you.
Yeah, and where a lot of people mess up, like me included, prior to carnivore, because how many of y'all can relate to you do real well through the day, and then at nighttime, before you go to bed, the noises start happening, the cravings start getting in your head, and you end up having something. And what you just did, all your hard work is for naught because now you just spiked your insulin. And at night, when you're supposed to be doing that great fat burning and all that great stuff that you worked so hard for, just got knocked right out. And you missed that opportunity. You
Well,
know?
and when you do carnivore, you don't have food noises. But when
No.
you do animal-based and keto, those food noises, they don't really go away. They like Coach said, they start to creep late at night.
Yeah. So insulin equals storage for the hormones. Lipolysis requires insulin to be low. That was good. I got that one. Lipolysis. Repeated spikes and metabolic confusion. And, confusion isn't a good word anywhere, right? So we don't want our metabolism to be confused. We want it to know what it's doing.
Yeah. So let me just kind of paint that for you. If you are repeatedly spiking throughout the day, okay, now your body, your metabolism is like, what the frick? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like literally your body is staying in a constant state of a repetitive circle. And what we want to do is we want to break that and we want to teach structure. We've talked about this on our other webinars. Your body is craving structure. So why people get defensive. Okay. So this is where structure comes in. This is where one of the things we could talk more about this, but if you're on here and you've been through our 12-week or you've worked with us, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Identity eating. This is one of the things that we break down when we coach with clients is to understand the identity that you have been given somewhere in your life and you have carried it through every little thing. You've heard us talk before how it's not, and I hate the word, I do, but I'm using it as a reference. Diets are not what's failing all of you guys. You're actually failing yourselves because your identity eating never changed with every single diet that you've been in front of. And one of the things that we love about carnivore is when you do it properly and it shuts off the food noises, that almost helps you in a great way to start recreating your identity. Comfort foods. So I call this the dressed as allowed, right? You see all these videos on TikTok that say carnivore cheesecake. People,
It's not a thing.
it is not a thing. There is animal-based cheesecake, but again, you're using, now I've seen some recipes with cream cheese, so bad. Like talk about massive food noise. Okay. I've seen some clean ones which is a better choice, but a raw mozzarella, but you're still having raw mozzarella. The eggs are great. You're using a whole fat yogurt. Okay. Again, minimal on the lactose, but still lactose in there. And then topping it with heavy whipping cream. It's like cry, cry, scream, scream. You're keeping, that, and you're disguising it. And this is what, when I see all these carnivore desserts, it literally is why I put this note in our webinar. Comfort food dressed as allowed. Because you're like, well, it's low carb, so I can do it, but it's keeping you stuck in that identity eating and what was getting you into the problem before you came to carnivore. And guys, more importantly, we want to always protect what we don't want to give up. And carnivore is an elimination diet. We are eliminating things that have put you in the situation that you're in right now, whether it's your body's sick, you're inflamed, you're in pain, whatever it is. If you start to see these things creeping back in, that is when you have to take an inventory of what you're eating every day. Am I eating things that are keeping me stuck in my identity eating and protecting me because I don't want to give it up because I have a emotional attachment to something that's not serving me?
Yeah, and once again, we welcome in if you're coming in a little late, guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A, okay? I don't know why the chat doesn't work. We have not figured that out. But if you have a question, put it in the Q&A and we will answer them at the end. Biology doesn't care about preferences, okay? It just doesn't, okay? And when we see this, and we get it, especially if you're new, because we kind of did the same thing. Well, kind of we did. We did videos on snacks. We did, because you're trying to hold on
I
to
did a
that.
cheesecake recipe
Yeah,
video.
we're trying to hold on to that old thing. And you can imagine, right? Like once again, not carnivore, but if you're doing animal based or keto and you're doing limited amounts of dairy, you make a whole cheesecake and make it tasting good. You're not having limited amounts. Or these nachos we see them make with sour cream and thing, who's eating like 2 ounces of that? Nobody. And so you just knocking yourself out and you're punishing yourself because the food noise won't go away.
Yeah, like the thing that makes me think of like our new client who loves the white cheddar pork rinds. Pork rinds are an
Oh,
accessory fat item. If they're just the skins of the pork, right, and salt. But now what have they done? They're commercializing it, just like with the keto snacks. I'm sorry, white cheddar pork rinds.
oh,
Guys,
okay.
always ask yourself. So this is my favorite. We're going to teach you about reframing the whole conversation. This is a perfect segue into that. Okay. Instead of asking yourself, because I get it, you hear us rattling off these things and you're like, well, is this allowed? Is this allowed? Can I do this? What about this? How about start asking, well, what signals am I sending my body? Instead of asking what's allowed,
Okay.
oh, why not pay attention to the signals that it's sending to your body?
Oh, that's me. So, structure over willpower, consistency over creativity. I'll tell you, and once again, we get it, but I see it as freeing, right? It's so freeing not to like, okay, what are we going to make today? What kind of creative? It's pretty simple. Carnivore is pretty simple. You're eating meat, you steak, you're eating
Beef,
seafood.
butter, bacon, and eggs.
Yeah, and you don't get bored. You'd be amazed. You don't get bored. At first, we get it. Once again, this is going to be boring. I need to have variety. And that's why we came up with these cookbooks. We have amazing cookbooks to help you in your journey. If you do want to be creative, that will be carnivore. We have a holiday one that's animal-based carnivore, okay? Just because we wanted to include the families. But we have a cookbook that's strict carnivore. We have one for on the road if you got a busy lifestyle and stuff like that, what to do on the road. But I mean, one of the things I love, and a lot of people that have been doing carnivore for a while, you'll hear them say the same thing, is the freedom. Just being free, not having to overthink, not having to do all this kind of stuff.
The
And
biggest, oh, sorry, I was
so,
going to say the biggest recommendation we can give you when getting started with carnivore is be really simple in the beginning.
keep it
Super
simple.
simple. I wouldn't even recommend looking at any of the cookbooks in your first 30 days. Literally, when I say beef, any kind of beef, bacon, butter, eggs, seafood, surf and turf was really huge for us. Keep it super, super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Let your body get used to the change because here are the things you're going to see in the beginning. Like we said, you're going to be detoxing from the sugar and carbs and all the crap that you were eating prior to carnivore, right? You're also going to be detoxing from the medications, whether you're on medication or not. There's a detoxing process that happens because when you've been on medication for a long period of time, your body actually gets immune to it. That's why doctors keep upping the percentages that you're on because you're like, it's not working. No, you need a clean out. And so you can be on carnivore and your body can be detoxing so that your medication does start to work. That's why a lot of you can actually pull off your medication because you're healing and detoxing at the same time. Then you're oxalate dumping. Okay. That's when you get rid of all your fruits and vegetables and all the oxalates and all the poisons. From that, your body starts releasing that. Some people will see rashes, right? That and the change in their skin. That's your body. Your skin is your biggest organ. You are literally detoxing. Okay. That can go on for months. Then there's seed oil dumping. You will dump in the first month to a month and a half, 50% of the seed oils that you have ingested in your lifetime, that other 50% can take up to 7 years to get out of your body. 7 years. So you have to realize there's all kinds of stuff going on in the beginning. Let your body do that. Get fat adapted. That takes somewhere between 12 to 16 weeks, we've seen. And that's simply your body understanding that it no longer needs carbs and sugars. For energy, it's going to go fats. Another reason why you want to stay in the carnivore lane. If you're dipping too much in animal-based and keto, fat adaptation takes longer because you are still keeping some of those things around. Now your body's like, well, am I using these limited carbs they're giving me in sugar, or do I need to get it from the fats? And when your body's confused, what did Coach say earlier? When your body is confused, your metabolism is confused as well.
Yeah, clarity beats creativity every time. The body likes to know what to do. It likes consistency, right? It's not about perfection. It likes consistency. All right.
How about you take over how we can help? Go ahead, because
Yes.
I've been
Okay.
talking
Yes.
forever.
Okay. So, champion. So, we hope that you learned a lot tonight, guys. We like to do this and just go deep. I know it's a lot of information. The cool thing, you'll have the recording. You can go back, watch it again, make notes. And how we can help, guys. We do go live every Monday to Friday on YouTube. I was saying 7 a.m. But we have some great tools. If you really enjoyed this kind of thing, but you want to go deeper, we have a 12-week VIP coaching course that is really intense. That's for people that want to take it next level. Okay. And we're working one-on-one with you. It's awesome. We're digging deeper with you. You get access to us through our phones 24/7. It's for those people who want to go next level. We also have an academy. An academy is great. It's like being coached one-on-one with us, but you're also in a community without paying if the one-on-one course is all for the people who want to go next level, is more expensive. This is something that you can go for a minimal price, a monthly fee. You get into community. You get your Q&As answered. Is the academy included? The academy included in the?
The
I mean,
academy
the
comes with the
foundational course.
foundation.
Yes. You
Yes, of
also get the
course.
foundation course, which is awesome. That's a $497 value, and you get all of that. And community, I always say community several times because that's important. That's only $97 a month. Okay, investing in your health. We can also dial your ratios in for you if you want to take it next level. You're tired of guessing. We do that. That's a big thing. That is only what's that one?
299.
299. Wow. Used to be 397, so it's a steal. So 299, and that's important, right? As you're seeing, Carnivore is amazing, but it's not just black and white. We have hundreds of clients at this point, and not one of their blueprints is the same. Redial, you heard me say earlier, right? I had to readjust my ratios, right? Because the carnivore, when I started, the food noise was starting to come back. Started to think about stuff that I hadn't thought about for over 500 days. Why? Because I wasn't getting enough protein and fat according to what my body needed. So this is something that we can figure out for you so you're not guessing. Okay, because carnivore, you can wing it if you like it. You might get results for a little while, and then eventually you're going to hit a stall and stuff like that.
So, honey, I just got a text from somebody that's on, which is fine. I'll keep your anonymity. How do I know which one is right for me? So I will answer that really quickly. If you're a super structured person and you're just like, look, I just need to know how much I need to be eating for me. Dialing in your numbers is exactly what you need. You don't need coaching. You just need to know what you're eating. That's for you. What's the difference between the academy and the 12-week? Very simply, the academy is for somebody who's like, I just need to be around like-minded people. I need to be able to have my questions answered. I want good foundation. I'm pretty good on my own. I just need like some of the gaps filled in. What's the difference between the academy and the 12-week? Here's really what the 12-week is. Yes, you get to meet with us for personalized coaching once a week. Yes, you get your ratios dialed in. That's all included. Yes, you actually get to be in the academy and you get the foundational video. The 12-week is for somebody who, remember what I said earlier on, their relationship with food, their identity. What we do in that 12-week is we literally strip you back to understand where your food identities came from, how you have the relationship you have with food, where structure needs to be, because motivation is not going to get you where you need to be. Okay. Motivation. Oh, I just lost all my lighting. Sorry.
Yeah, and you also like what my wife's talking about. She's a therapist in her background. I'm a mindset coach. So it takes you. It's like for that person, like my wife says, and because that's a big part of it, the mindset, and then through the therapy side of her. Some people we got some damage over the years, and we need to work through that. We need to readjust the narrative. Need to readjust. That's. I like the way you describe it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, champions. Well, we appreciate you guys. So, if any of that's, how do they get those, honey? If they want any of those?
You could either message us, or if you simply go to our website, carnivorepowerduo.com, literally you will see there's a 12-week tab, there is an academy tab. The ratios, you would have to go into our stand store Again, you can follow any of us. Our stand store is on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. Coach has it on his. It's Rael Andrews. I'm Coach Michelle Andrews. Same on, I'm Coach Michelle Andrews on all social media platforms. You could send us a message. Also, getting into the academy and or the 12-week, everything is in our stand store. So it's stand store / carnivore power duo.
Yeah, or message us.
Or message us.
Yes, all
Yeah.
right.
Because
Thanks for
guys,
spending some
listen,
time with us.
you don't need stricter rules and you don't need a clearer signal. Your body is always telling you the truth. So start listening to it because it is talking to you.
Yes, all right.
All right.
Have a
Bye,
good night,
guys.
guys. Bye.